funny.
All right, this is the East Hampton Housing Partnership. It is 6:51 on February 17th. So I apologize for not bringing copies of the agenda, which is not very long to begin with. So I thought we would just do a little recap of the Valley CDC Summit for those of you who didn't go. I will say that we were, I think, pretty much the housing partnership rock stars of the event because Northampton and Amherst did not even go.
No, there was someone from Amherst.
It was a planner. It was
Nate was there, but
No,
was
but
there?
there's a woman that I met a really long time ago, Nancy something.
Oh, Nancy Gregg was there. You're right.
From their house.
So they had one member. Northampton had 0.
But they had Wayne.
They had Wayne. I'm just saying from the
But
housing
yes.
partnership.
I don't know anybody.
Sounds like I was the big planning loser for not going because
Well-
Amherst was there, Northampton was there.
But you were coaching basketball.
That's
And
true.
there were 4 of us there.
Yeah, there were 4 of us there. So
You had it well covered.
thank you for coming with me. I actually thought it
It
was
was really well done.
really good.
It was.
So,
Yeah.
So what happened?
so they broke us into groups, and Jackie and I were in the same group, which I don't know how that happened.
With Wayne Fiden and, what was the name of the guy from East Hampton Savings
Bill something from East Hampton Savings Bank, who we had an interesting conversation with, and I'll tell you that about that. And we basically had topics, and we moved around from table to table. We talked about financial education. We talked about
Affordable housing.
affordable housing. We talked about diversity. We talked about small business development, which fortunately the East Hampton Savings Bank guy's the commercial lender, so that
Yeah, he was great.
He was really good because I was.
Right.
And then what else we talked about? We didn't talk about homeownership. Our group didn't make it to homeownership, but
That's kind of funny.
but it was good. I mean, we kind of talked about things we thought Valley should focus on, and we wrote everything down, and then they stuck it all up all over the walls, and then at the end we all had these little sticky dots,
The dots, the voting.
and had to go around and think and vote on what we thought Valley should.
Which was okay, but my one gripe with that was that there was some stuff on there that isn't stuff that Valley's going to do. Like, some of it was just big, here's what people should do to fix this problem, but it's not, but it wasn't really what Valley could do.
Right.
So, and then people voted for those things, right? I feel like that there should have been some sort of that's not feasible,
Yeah.
process
Yeah.
first, but there was no time to do that.
And they're doing this because
It's part of their strategic plan.
Their strategic plan.
Okay.
it's not tied to that
5
grant
years.
money thing that they're, with the
Well,
tax credit.
That's kind of how it was originally
That's what I
presented to me,
thought,
but
okay.
now it's kind of morphed into their strategic plan. So maybe a component of this satisfies the CITC requirements, but
That would make
it
sense.
seemed like this was much bigger than
And it
that.
wasn't taken over by
Nope.
Anti-Valley.
There were
Wow.
not,
There was none there.
none there.
That's good. That's what I was worried about.
I was worried about that also.
We did, never mind. I'm gonna bracket this comment that I have for later.
Okay.
It's not about that meeting, which is something I found out from Joanne at that meeting that I'll share with you later.
So anyway, so I thought it was pretty interesting. But we did also connect with Bill, I think it's Fontes,
I think that's right.
who works at East Hampton Savings Bank, who's their commercial lender, who's inherited both Parsons and Cottage Square. So we talked a little bit about Cottage Square mostly. But he seems to, he would like, I think, to have a little bit of a community meeting with the Cottage Square folks. And said he would invite us to kind of talk a little bit about East Hampton and kind of being more present in the community and kind
Well,
of,
they're here every week, so I'm not sure what he means by that, because they're here every Thursday.
well, I don't know. He seemed to think that they needed to be more in tune with the community groups and that kind of stuff. I don't know. So I sent him my
Did you ask if
contact.
you wanted to be on the housing partnership?
I didn't. I don't think.
That's a good idea.
That is a good idea. I could. So I did email my contact information. I haven't heard back from him, but just to say, sure, let us know if you want us to be involved in something. And I did email the guy though, who did express interest in the housing partnership that Betty recruited, but I did it today, which was my fault, because I kind of kept forgetting about
He
it.
told me after, he realized after, he just had a grandchild, and they're in Wisconsin visiting the he and his wife were gonna come. But when he spoke with his wife, I guess his wife reminded him that they were gonna be in Wisconsin this week. So they couldn't come to this meeting. And I don't have his email, but if you want to email him next month,
Okay.
he was very enthused about joining us, so.
And who is this individual?
I don't know his last name.
Homer,
Yeah,
And
and
he
he
lives
has
in
a
East
wife
Hampton.
named Sydney, and it turned out we were at the same table, and there was only 3 people at our table, but the both of us, we found out, were from East Hampton. And he was interested in affordable housing, and so I got to talking to him, and I asked him what he told me that he coaches Little League, and he works at the Happy Shack, is that what it's called? The little place where you can buy ice cream up at the park, the Happy Shack? Or it used to be called the Happy Shack, but I don't know. He works there anyways, I don't know what else he does. His wife works, he didn't say what she did anyways, but he was very interested in affordable housing, so.
And he was at this Valley meeting?
Right, so I told him that I belong to the housing partnership, and I asked him if he'd be interested. We have a whole meeting, and I asked him if he'd be interested, and he said he knew Karen, he knew the mayor, and he liked the mayor, and I don't know how long he's lived in East Hampton, but I think he said he lived on Clark Avenue, is that the one by Center Street School? Is that street? There's only 2 houses on it by Center. I think that's where he lives, because he lives close to the bagel place. And I don't know his last name either. But he was very interested in joining the partnership,
Good.
but he was not gonna be around it because he's went to Wisconsin to see his new grandchild. Which I didn't think he was over 25 years old.
I know.
He was a grandfather.
well, that makes me feel better that I forgot to email him until this morning,
So, yeah,
I'll
maybe you
email
could email, or maybe he'll reply to it when he gets back or something, I don't know.
I did the same with Connie, who wants to join. I emailed her today. I meant to send this to you sooner, but I didn't.
So anyway, it was a good event, and I think that they're gonna continue they wanted people to sign up to volunteer to do things,
Stuff.
Yeah,
be on committees and
Mhm.
such, and so, so that's
I
that.
didn't pick any.
Good. Didn't either, though, then Joanne said she was gonna keep contacting us even if we didn't have to bid.
We're already on
Anyway.
our list,
It's like,
so,
yeah.
you know.
So that's that. And I was hoping, since you were not with us last month, were you? Can you give us an update on Cottage Square? Because there was they went back to CPA, and now they decided not to go back to CPA.
Yes, so they went to CPA. I wasn't at the CPA meeting, but my understanding is they basically said, we've run out of our contingency money, there's been some unexpected issues. They presented a budget that had a profit line. And so the CPA said, it's not our problem if you don't make a profit. We're not the right funding source if this is why you're coming to us, is for your profit money. So that was kind of the pushback that they got from CPA. And my understanding is then the CPA committee wanted even a more detailed budget with more line items of where the money was going and where the overruns really were, and then they decided to withdraw their application. So the day that article came out in the paper, they had withdrew their application the day before, so it wasn't timely anymore. So it was sort of an unexpected, I didn't know they were going to CPA, they just sort of submitted a letter with some information through Jamie, and that's sort of what ended up happening. So they're expecting to have folks in there within the next 4 to 6 weeks. They've been talking to the building inspector about getting COs, so it's moving along.
to have people moving in.
Yeah, certificate of occupancy, sorry, lingo. So they should be getting in there within the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Great.
And then on the other city project, well, not the city's project, but the project happening in the city for Valley is that you were CC'd on an email regarding setting up lotteries. So I don't know if
Yes.
that's on your list to talk about, but.
Just that we were contacted by Joanne about doing an informational meeting and a lottery So it doesn't sound like now the dates are set in stone. The mayor thought there was a conflict.
Yeah, we're trying to organize a small business workshop. I've been working with Mo, and we have some preliminary dates, and one of those dates conflicts, so we just need to, I haven't set that event in stone either, so we just need to sort of hash some of that stuff out and figure it out.
When I saw Joanne Friday, she seemed to think that the April 16th date was gonna be the likely one, but is that when your thing is?
I think that's when we had tried to schedule, yeah.
Good, 'cause I'm gonna do that anyway. I also suggested to Joanne that maybe she think about doing something at the community center, an information session.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's Cottage Square did the same thing. So they held two meetings, one upstairs and then one at the community center, so she should absolutely think about that.
Yeah. I don't know, I said that to her when I saw her at the community action annual meeting, so maybe I'll remind her.
Yeah, I would remind her.
But what is it she wants us to do?
Nothing.
Just be there.
Oh.
Just be there if we can
Stand by.
be there. HAP is doing,
We're doing an information session.
Yeah, it's like, how do you fill out the application? What do you need to qualify? It's really for folks who want to fill out the application, need some additional guidance on, because the application packets, well, they were for Cottage Square, they're super thick.
Yeah.
And so when are they doing that, April?
There's two dates.
mid-April, like April 16th for the informational meeting, and then the lottery drawing on May 4th. So the marketing is obviously gonna start before
Yeah.
April 16th, because they have to do at least 60 days, I think. And HAP is gonna be the property manager, so they're gonna handle all of the applications and stuff. And marketing, probably. That's what they do. So yeah, I would think the marketing's gonna start fairly soon, and then they're anticipating an August 1st completion.
Cool.
She said that their contractor is really like
It's moving along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
working their butts off, so that's good.
I've been getting their, it's kind of like their, their construction invoicing and how much they've expended out, so I'm on that email list, so I've been sort of just going through it and just seeing at what level of completion are they at through this process, and they seem quite on track, so.
That's good. So yeah, I mean, once those are finalized, I'll let you guys know. It's just good to hear what's happening.
Do you know if the applications are going to be available online?
I would think they'll probably be available all over the place.
What we did with Cottage Square is we had hard copies available, planning department, city clerk's office, senior center, community center, and then I had them send me a PDF version that I could email out as needed, as people requested them. Most people like to have the hard copy. I mean, it's a thick packet,
Well, right, if
so
it's 20 pages to print
I don't
off,
think they're gonna
worry.
wanna print it at home, so.
Yeah.
And they probably provided us with, hundreds of copies. They came back twice, I think, after they gave us the initial drop off.
It's just that I would like to make it available to the VA, and they prefer to have it downloadable, so they
Okay.
print it off en masse.
Okay.
HAP usually post it on their website too. For Olympia Oaks, you could download it off the HAP website for landowners. That's a good idea. Yeah, and I haven't seen the well, I guess we wouldn't see the marketing plan. Would you see the marketing plan? No? Did you see it for Cottage Square?
I feel like we did. Don't you need that as part of the final LIP application process? Isn't there a marketing plan that has to be
Yeah.
submitted and reviewed by the state and okayed by the state? And didn't we
Yeah.
question about whether the marketing plan was complete? I'm thinking of Habitat.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yes, but this is a 40B, so it's the same deal. So I would assume that they would have done that already.
Because Habitat met with us directly about for our opinions on the marketing
Yeah.
plan.
I can check with Joanne about this. What's up.
Probably has it all under control.
Well,
I
I'm
can
sure they
imagine
do.
They don't need our help, but.
But I'd like to know.
They've done this before,
Yeah.
once or twice.
But I wouldn't mind knowing what it said.
Right.
You should know
Well,
what it
plus,
says.
it'd be good to get ideas for when somebody like a Habitat comes and they don't know how to do it, or
Mhm.
if we ended up, who knows, having a private developer. Sure. Be good to
I
have.
was
some
quite
suggestions.
interested in the fact that Habitat here gets absolutely no funding from Habitat for Humanity. It's all private donations to this area.
Not from
They get to use the name for some reason,
Mhm.
but it's
Yeah, I think
completely
that they're
funded
all
locally.
set up like that by franchise kind
Yeah.
of things, so that model.
Okay. Anything else on this stuff?
Treehouse is about to get finally closed out. So they've sold the remaining units. They're in the process of pulling closeout documents together. There's two of the lots that were Lot 6 and Lot 9, I think, in the approved plan, that they actually wanted transferred to the city for open space because they're right adjacent to the open space areas and they're pretty wet and they're hard to develop and they're funky lots. So they're having a hard time marketing them and selling them because of the wetlands. So they want to transfer those over to the city, so I've got to move that process forward so they can get final closeout. But they're in the process of wrapping up and being done, so.
Nice.
So that's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great. Yep. That didn't take super long.
10 years?
Oh, well.
lot.
For the single families, 10 years?
For the whole
Whole
thing,
thing,
yes, the
yeah.
whole shebang, yeah.
Well, yeah, the rental portion was a while ago.
Yeah,
Hospital Hill's taking longer.
yes.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. I did hear from Alexis,
Oh,
who thinks she would be back next month. The fact that our meeting is the same week as CPA is a challenge for her husband, I think, more than for
Yeah.
her. And I offered that I don't think any of us are married to the third Tuesday. Yeah, and you have a more
I have
conflicted
the second
schedule.
and fourth Tuesdays, I have
Yeah.
planning board, and so do you.
Yes, I know.
So I offered if she would wanted us to discuss an alternate evening, but she didn't respond. So, if she wants to, I think that we can discuss it and see if we can find another time that works. If being out the same week is hard. But otherwise, she thought that she was going to be able to successfully get him to sleep early enough to be able to come next month.
How optimistic.
It's like, it's okay, we've been there,
And then they'll start teething and.
Yeah. So, but I did hear from her, so that was good.
while we're on next month, I won't be here next month.
St.
for the
Patrick's
March
Day.
meeting. No, for St. Patrick's.
It is St. Patrick's Day.
I won't be in town anyway, so I won't be.
Okay.
It might be a little tough for me because Sam will be out of town that whole week on his service trip with the students, so unless I can drop him off at Jackie's house with Paul.
Just everyone's busy.
It's fine.
That works.
Um,
The kids bite less when your kids are there.
Yeah, I think
It actually works really well.
and did everybody do their ethics test?
Almost.
I haven't gotten any emails telling me that anyone's out of compliance,
I'm out of
but I almost
compliance,
kind of
but
forgot.
No, I emailed the people directly
You
who were in
did.
violation.
Oh.
That'd be
So-
me.
So
I'm
it
getting
was
there.
a few people.
Every time I pull it up, I'm like, I have to
do is-
sit down and do
No, no,
what?
no, all I have to do is jump to the end.
Okay.
The 10 questions.
Oh.
You've done this enough times, you don't
Yeah.
need to go
It's
through
been
the
a
whole
while,
training.
but
And if
yeah.
you get it wrong, you just
I know. I had to do that for my certification to do research as well. Yeah.
Oh, it'll take you just a few minutes. But don't forget that you have to do not only the training, the online with the certificate,
Yeah.
but also there's a receipt at the last page of the document that was sent to you that you have to sign that you received the document. So
Was that a
there's
missing
two-
piece?
Yes, it
Yeah.
tends to be a frequent missing piece. So there's
Yeah.
two things that you need to turn into city
So,
clerks.
I have to do it at work because my printer at home isn't working.
Well, don't you do it for work anyway?
I had to do it once. They haven't made us do it again.
Oh, I forgot.
So
Do it
the
again.
certificate you can just PDF. You can
Yeah.
probably save it as a PDF and you just email that to me and then I'll just send it upstairs.
Although it's opened weirdly, I remember from past years,
Okay.
but whatever.
Okay.
I'll make it work, I
Okay.
promise.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm the troublesome one.
You're busy.
It's okay. Who isn't?
So what we,
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Before we get to the affordable housing education piece, which is about SMOC, and if we have any updates, because we have an expired use.
Yes, we do. I emailed them probably 3 weeks ago, maybe now, as a follow-up again, and they haven't responded.
Okay.
Good
So
grief.
I need to put them back on my I could.
So we have to stay on top of that. It's
No,
coming.
thank you for
It's July,
reminding.
right?
Yeah, it's July. Thank you for
That's-
reminding me. No, I said I want them to, we basically have said to them, tell us when you're available, we want to meet with you.
Mhm.
Crickets. Tell us when you can meet with us, because this is really important, and I need to know if you want to sign up again. The mayor needs to be there. I CC the mayor. Mayor responds, yes, please let me know. Crickets. I mean, it just sends a bad message, you know?
Yeah.
It makes us not want to read
Right.
up
Yeah.
with them. right?
Yeah.
So
Other-
anyway.
We talked about other options, didn't we?
Well, I don't know, I mean, if we did anything, we would probably have to RFP it
Yeah,
out again,
yeah.
and I don't know who
Right.
would respond, I have no idea.
Right.
Somebody who can do services and
Mhm.
housing, and I don't
Like
think there's a.
ServiceNet.
But then our question was, what would happen to the people that live there now?
Right, because they're probably specific clients under SMOC.
I would, unless they also are clients of service.
So there would need to be
Right.
a transition plan that would
Right.
take care of everybody.
Right.
And ServiceNet would know how to do that.
Right.
Because it's what
Smart
they
should
do.
be able to do it too. They have enough, they have
Mhm.
other, they have a lot of other.
Right.
Thank you for reminding me, I'll put it back on my to-do list again, I'll follow up with them again.
Because it's February.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna come fast.
Yeah, it's like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Practically.
And it's
That
gonna
would-
take,
they're
it's gonna
not
take 2
responding.
months to do an RFP anyway.
Right.
So,
Yep. Yikes.
Maybe you should say, we don't hear back from you in the next 3 weeks,
We
and we're
plan
going
to
to
put this out
assume
to
that
bid.
you do not want to do this again.
right,
Mhm.
that's a good strategy.
Mhm.
And we are going to RFP it
And
out.
in the subject line, write the words, please respond. That works with students. Second reminder, please respond. I do that all the time.
And did the mayor say anything about combining the housing?
I think I was supposed to ask her about this last time and I forgot. It's on my to-do list again, and I will do it. I will email her and say, hey, can I do that? Can I email her?
Absolutely, why wouldn't you be?
She's very-
Do
She's
you
very
want to delegate
approachable
that?
and.
So would you like to
I'd be more
email?
than happy to do
Will
it.
you email the mayor and
I
ask
will.
her about?
I might come in and visit her.
All
And
right.
what did she do about the letter that we wrote about Habitat? What happened with that? Did we get an update on that? Am I-
She
No.
basically said to Habitat, you're done,
Mhm.
I think, in a verbal way, not in a, and not on anything on letterhead, I don't believe. But now the challenge is because when city council released the parcel, they released it specifically for affordable housing, so now the city needs to sort of figure out what are we gonna do?
What's next?
Whether that means go back to council and get that provision taken off, like, yes, we've tried, that was 10 years ago, we now have Parsons Village in the neighborhood, we'd like to just auction this off, and see if there's, but that has, nobody's had time to do anything with that, so. But I think that's maybe the plan, so.
Okay.
Is there anything else that we need to do?
I don't think so. For Habitat?
For, yeah, for that, for Everett Street parcel, anyway.
Not at this time, but I'll keep you, I'll let you know. I'll
Because we
keep you
did,
posted.
we had some sort of recommendations kind of in our letter to the mayor for what we thought.
I think we
We
said,
basically said we
you know,
prefer that it would be do that? I don't
You kept it
remember.
in there in terms of it'd be preferable.
It would be
to
preferable,
keep
but we
understand
understand.
the situation,
Blah, blah,
right,
blah.
yeah.
yes. But I think you're right that the landscape of the neighborhood has changed a little bit
Mhm.
since,
Mhm.
15 years.
yeah, well, yeah. I guess that happens. So, okay. Any other updates?
That I know of, unless you tell me. Is there something that you remind me that?
Valley is still trying to work on their request to CPA, and Joanna and Donna are gonna send it to me to work on with them, and I said I would be happy to do that before it goes. When's the next quarterly CPA?
I think it's March. Is there
They might not make this one, they were really busy.
It's March, it's quite.
It's March, I think, is the next, there's a couple of things on there list right now.
All right,
Any housing?
so we have a bunch of things to email Joanne about, should we just combine them into one email?
What was it? It was check on the marketing plan.
And then to re-suggest that they have an info session at the community
Oh, yeah.
center. And maybe even at the library. Like, it doesn't have to happen in this building, it'd be nice.
Sure.
But other places would be good too.
I think they should do a couple if they can, if they have the
Yeah.
capacity to do one here at nighttime because that's an easy nighttime, one during the day at
Mhm.
either the community center or the library
Mhm.
or the council on aging.
Right.
I would recommend a daytime one and a nighttime one.
Yeah, that's good.
And then about the quarterly CPA deadline coming up, and do they want to do that? But do you want me to email her?
You can email her.
At this point, I think they should wait till after March to submit anything.
Well, I don't think they're gonna have it
Yeah,
December,
they're not.
March anyway.
Right.
So then it would be June.
All right, so I'll email her when I do my ethics test tonight.
Tonight.
So at our last meeting, we had talked about like working on our education piece tonight
Mhm.
and thinking about what we wanted to put in it, and Jackie's idea was for it to be a working meeting.
Jackie
Jackie didn't bring her computer. So
Which has been breaking, so
I've never-
I have a new one coming in tomorrow.
I don't really know what that means, so I don't know how you want to do
Well, I
that.
think, I just thought we could start literally typing stuff into a document to get it started. Or I started outlining it while you're talking about other things. So, I just thought if we even just get an outline on paper, that we can start filling in, or we can assign a section to each person to start filling in, and then we can come back with those, or email them all to one person and compile them for next month.
Okay.
So, I think some of the stuff we can pull from other places because it
Mhm.
already exists. So what do we mean by affordable housing? Seems like a pretty obvious one. What are the, if you want to, I have it here and Betty's writing too.
All right.
What are the needs in East Hampton? We
Mhm.
can pull that from the housing production plan.
Yeah.
And then I think to put a face on it, like who lives in affordable housing?
Mm-hmm.
And we had at one point talked about maybe doing profiles of actual people.
Oh, I need what's the wireless password?
It's on the wall right there, East Hampton.
It's the water.
Here it is.
That'd be good password. Sorry. Do we think that it would be, I think that we're expecting this to be a print piece, right? And, or maybe something on the web. We want to have two different kinds of versions of it. Because whatever's on the web could be, have more to it. We can
Yes.
develop out a bunch and then pull some into a print piece, which would be like a card or something.
Yes. Agree.
But I think it would be cool if we could do profiles of people who are living in affordable housing, or if we found people who would want to do that.
I think that's, yeah. I wonder if that will be challenging if it's a local piece. You know, I mean, if you're doing like a statewide piece, you know,
But some people don't care,
some people don't care.
so we get the people who don't care. Right. And then I thought, if we can't get actual profiles, we can at least talk about what does the income look like of these people? So what does it look
Mhm.
like for people who are in affordable housing? What is the typical housing size and type? You know, is it more rental or home ownership or whatever? And you talked about putting in a thing about why does it cost so much to build? Do we
Yeah.
want to include that?
I think that's really,
I think we do, because that's
People are
the
gonna
question
ask
that we
you that.
can't answer.
Mhm.
Like,
unless we hire somebody to do it for us.
Well, I think that it's probably, like, what I was saying at the last meeting is, if we go on to like mass housing, there's probably someone who has answered this question in a way that we can just rip off and duplicate.
but I actually don't think that there is, which is
No.
why we don't have an answer.
So here's a possible thing, because we are all way too busy to actually write this thing, I think. So do we hire somebody, a consultant, and use some funds out of the affordable housing pot of money
Oh, that we have.
You know, use a couple $1,000s to hire somebody, and then if we wanted to print and mail it out kind of thing? I mean, I don't know how much money we want to spend out of this one-time reserve pot of money, but then we can hire somebody to do a nice job graphically, make it kind of, you know, I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, rather than have us try to pull it together, because do we have time?
That's why I was saying if we do it at a working meeting, we could literally create it here.
Okay.
That's why I suggested that, and then
Okay.
for some reason I thought in my head that we did something, we're doing something else today.
I mean, I kind of agree with Jessica, because I feel
Yeah.
like we can talk about what we want what we want it to say,
Mhm.
but I don't know the answer to all those questions, and I feel like I particularly would love us to have a very concise, like, this is why it's so expensive to build
But there's-
affordable housing.
Right,
And I don't think that there is
a good answer.
well, I think there is a good answer, I just don't think that it exists somewhere where we can easily write it ourselves. I don't know. What's your hesitation to hiring someone?
I think that it would require two people, because you need someone to do the text and you need someone else to design it if you want it to look good. Because that's not gonna all come in one package, is my guess. But I could be wrong.
I just have a couple questions, and I know I wasn't at the last meeting, but, I guess I had thought originally we were gonna try to print something as part of the Gazette.
Yeah, the
kind of
summit.
thing. And then now we're talking like a flyer kind of thing?
Well, it
Or-
can look like anything we want in the summit. Like, it can be an
Oh,
insert in the summit,
Okay, all right.
which costs money, or it could be that we ask them.
So the audience is the residents of East Hampton? Or anybody else who reads the Gazette? Although the summit is just for East Hampton?
In Southampton and West Hampton.
I mean, I think we're talking about multiple things, right? We talked about the summit, I think we're talking about having
ECAT.
ECAT, something kind of, I look at it as like something in our toolbox, so that when we have to go to a public meeting to support another project, we kind of already have these
And we-
stats.
Yeah.
And we already kind of have kind of what we want people to know about affordable housing.
And we have it in that presentation, actually, that we did with the housing production plan. So a lot of it's already there
Yep.
in that as well. So it
The
feels like something we
demographic
can
stuff,
pull that
I'm sure, is in
together.
there.
Yeah.
Did you connect?
No, I can't connect. He was telling me there's something wrong. Can connect to other people's. 5-star.
Nice.
Anyway. Yeah, I don't know why it spins and then it says, this is taking longer than usual.
Yeah.
I'll ask the other people. Sorry.
So, all right, so what else is on our list?
You mean to go into it? Other pieces?
Yeah, well, I think we're
don't
gonna need
know.
to figure
What
that
else
out
do we wanna put
anyway.
in? So, do we want to talk about 40B and what it is and how, like, or maybe like a section about what are the tools to creating
Yeah.
affordable housing? And that would be one of them.
Right, because we also have our affordable housing bylaw, right?
Mhm.
And we have 40R.
Which everybody gets confused in the difference between 40B and 40R.
Because they
that
sound too much
itself
alike.
Could be, I mean, I actually, think I did a fact sheet when I was at PVPC, the difference between 40B and 40R. Well, matrix because
And
it's.
the Gazette reporter was asking me, and I was like, have you talked to Jessica? He was like, no. I'm like, maybe you should talk to Jessica, because I'm not a 40R expert, and then I don't think he would have mentioned it in the paper article anyway.
He did towards the end.
No, I didn't
Yeah.
read it yet.
He did at the end.
Do we want to talk about where it can go and the fact that we don't have a lot of developable land? And so we're thinking about more things like infill and smaller projects.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of is in our, yeah. I don't want to use from our
Oh,
house.
wait a minute, how long is this thing gonna be?
I don't know, that's why
Yeah.
I'm just throwing ideas out, and
Is it a brochure? Is it a summit article? Is it?
it could be anything. It seems like we could have a a big kind of thing that we could pull stuff, pieces out when we need them for certain. We could build it off that PowerPoint that was done for the housing production plan and sort of start with that and add. And then somebody could, whoever our consultant is could decide. Because in the summit, you can have them put in a piece of paper that looks like this.
Or you could have like the fourfold,
Mhm.
which this seems like this is a lot of information to put on one sheet or one
Right.
brochure, so that seems like it would be better suited for a summit insert.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could connect to the internet because,
Because there's so much good stuff there.
well, no, because CHAPA has some program that helps communities with this. I can't remember what it's called. What is this question it keeps asking me? Do you want to find and automatically connect to devices like the TV? No, I don't want to do that. Ask TV. Because I feel like, for me, if we had a consultant with some of this money, could help us kind of figure out what's our message, who's the message to, how are we gonna, like, what kind of pieces are we gonna, what kind of information do we need, where, you know, the whole thing about finding people and interviewing them for profiles, we don't have time to do. So I feel like, that's where I feel like the consultant could kind of really help us figure out what we want to do for this piece.
So where is it at CHAPA? Consultant directory?
No, they have like
About-
something.
Housing policy consultant director, jobs board, join, housing
There's like,
inclusive.
is it a
It's a
publication?
program. It's called like, there was something called Welcome Home Massachusetts, but I don't think that's it.
Lotteries and resales, home buyer workshops, housing registry, housing search guide, that does not help me.
Welcome Home Affordable Housing Toolbox, was that it?
Locations, chapter programs.
I'm
Mass
reading it and being like,
access.
oh, that would be useful.
Welcome Home Massachusetts. New England Housing Network.
Nah, this wasn't really what I wanted. Well, building local support. Oh. This section of the toolbox provides guidance for those looking to build support, avoid opposition, and address concerns.
Aha,
Organize your efforts, explain your intentions, get the message out,
that sounds exactly what
addressing
we're trying to
community
do.
concerns. But then I think that they had. Yeah, I mean, this has some information.
Can we hire Chapa to do it?
No. I feel like they had some kind of like, you could get money and they would help, you could hire someone to help you do it. But we don't really need the money.
Would be great. Save the other money for something else.
Money's always good.
Maybe Chap, I mean, or maybe they could tell, could give us a,
Do you still have people there?
oh yeah. We have some people, not as many people as I used to. They could maybe say, oh, hey, this consultant could really help you do that. So I could do that. I could call my friend Karen. Because I just feel like they would, if we hired someone, then we'd get it done faster.
Mm-hmm. We would get it done, because we've been
Right.
talking about it for years.
Right. And now we have the data, like now the housing production
Right.
plan. Have we heard from Phil at DHCD?
No.
Well, they have been not open for like 4 weeks because
I
of
know.
the
Snow
snow.
has been awful. It's been same with the CDBG. I mean, we can't like do anything because nobody's here.
Just let me know.
Well, aren't you just?
Hey, I don't know.
He's special.
There's a step.
Mine says can't connect to the internet.
Because he just got his computer back from the Geek Squad.
Um,
I love Geek Squad.
well, why don't I email? I'll talk to my person at CHAPA and just say, hey, this is what we're doing. You have this toolkit. Like, if we wanted to hire someone, do you have a recommendation? Because now our housing production plan is almost done, so we have all this data
Mhm.
and all these priorities, and we want to shepherd them along and see what.
If Jane was still a PVPC, I mean, I think
She'd be great.
She'd
Yeah.
be great because she could pull the information together and they have a graphics department. So, we
Who
could-
did they replace her? Are they going to?
Unclear.
Can we call her at home?
Can we hire her as a consultant?
Do you think, she wouldn't have the graphics though, but.
Well, we can get that done other places.
I think that Jackie knows somebody who does that.
She probably
Indeed.
does. We could even pay him. Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to email her, I'm not sure, I can scope it out. She's home with two very small children, so I'm not sure.
She might want something to do.
I think she might want
I'm
something to
sure.
do,
She
but
must be bored out of her mind.
I'll email her.
No, but wanting to use her mind is probably more
Well,
like it.
yeah.
Having been there.
Well, yeah, like a short-term consulting gig,
Mm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll email her.
all right. All right, I did not write down what you guys wrote down, because
That's
you
okay.
wrote it down, so,
We wrote it down.
all right. Does that sound like a good plan?
Yes.
Sure.
We have a lot of plans, I know, and then a month goes by, and
That's okay.
it's hard being.
Well, I think it's nice to have the consultant's input and maybe it'll finally get done, because it's been a long time.
And then Kathy at ECAT, I mean, I think she's fairly easy to, if we
Oh,
could
she
say.
wants this kind of stuff.
I'm sure,
She
yeah.
totally want us to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
so that's easy,
Yeah.
I think.
Very.
And it might be timely to do it kind of after maybe Cottage Square gets some occupants. I mean, maybe we could get somebody.
Before the lottery for Parsons.
Yeah, but like
Around.
maybe there'd be a new resident of Cottage Square who might wanna,
Mm-hmm.
be so excited about their new apartment. They might
They are
wanna-
excited about their new apartments, they can't wait to move in.
Yeah. I mean, that might be a nice timely kind of,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Well, would the people that are moving into East Street be considered,
Habitat people?
yeah,
Yeah.
persons that are,
definitely.
because I'm pretty sure Alita would be more than happy to spill her guts, and Angelique might also be willing to provide some information.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good, actually.
Those get Alita talking, she doesn't
She doesn't
shut
stop.
up.
That's good.
She's a sweetheart, I love her. I'm so glad she got the place.
What's the process for accessing the money? Do we have to?
We would probably have to have a proposal from a consultant, and then we have to get the purchase order signed by the mayor, so the mayor has to approve before the expenditure of the funds.
But it doesn't have to go out to bid if it's less than a certain amount, right?
And even if it's a professional consultant, we can hire whoever we want.
Okay. That's
I mean, you need to, under $10,000, you have to use best practices for procurement. So it would be great if we had 3 names that we could contact, but if we have 1 or 2, that's okay too.
Okay.
So,
great.
All right. Anything else?
no,
Should we adjourn?
yes. Are you voting? You're just saying we're adjourning?
Yeah, we're adjourning. We don't vote.
That's right.